Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's been gaining a lot of attention lately: electric vehicles, or EVs. You might think, aren't EVs the eco-friendly future of transportation? And that's what most of us have been led to believe. But today, I'm going to explore a side of the story that's not often discussed. The reality is that while EVs appear eco-friendly on the surface, they have environmental costs that can be surprisingly high when we look beyond the tailpipe emission. Let's start with some background on EVs and why they've been positioned as a solution to pollution and climate change. For years, electric vehicles has been heralded as the silver bullet to reduce emission and combat climate change. They don't emit CO2 directly from their tailpipes since they don't have one, and that's a huge benefit. Traditional internal combustion engine vehicle burn fossil fuel, which release harmful gases into the air and contribute to greenhouse gas accumulation. So on the surface, EVs seem like the perfect solution, but is it really the whole picture? To understand the full environmental cost of electric vehicle, we need to look at their batteries. Most EVs are powered by lithium-ion batteries, which are complex and costly to produce. Lithium, along with other metals such as cobalt and nickel, is mined from the earth, and this mining process is not eco-friendly at all. Lithium mining and water use. Lithium extraction is water intensive, particularly in regions where water is already a scarce resource. For example, in the salt flat of South America, it takes around 500,000 gallons of water to extract 1 ton of lithium. In some areas, this has led to water depletion and severe impact on local ecosystem and communities who rely on these water resources. Other mining impact beyond lithium EVs batteries require cobalt and nickel, much of which is mined in countries with minimal labor and environmental regulations. The mining process often releases toxic substances into surrounding land and water, affecting both local biodiversity and the health of communities nearby. Carbon footprint of batteries production. The manufacturing of lithium-ion batteries is highly energy intensive, generating significant CO2 emissions. Studies have shown that producing an EV battery emit around as much CO2 as driven a gasoline car for several years. While EVs can make up for this over time, the initial carbon footprint is significant. Even after they're on the road, EVs aren't completely emission-free. While EVs themselves don't emit CO2, they need electricity to run, and globally much of the electricity still comes from fossil fuel. In places where electricity is generated primarily from coal and natural gas, charging an EV may indirectly cause as much pollution as a traditional gasoline car. So unless an EV is being charged in a region where renewable energy dominates, it's essentially running on fossil fuel, just like the vehicle it aimed to replace. Now let's discuss something few people talk about: the danger posed by lithium-ion batteries fires. When EV batteries catch fire, they can be far more dangerous than gasoline fires. Lithium fires are intense, extremely hot, and notoriously hard to extinguish. They can even reignite hours or days after they seem to be put out. Here's why. Chemical instability. Lithium-ion batteries are prone to thermal runaway, a chemical reaction that causes the battery to overheat uncontrollably. Once thermal runaway starts, it's nearly impossible to stop. High temperature and explosive power. When lithium-ion batteries ignite, but they burn at a much higher temperature than gasoline fires. In fact, some reports suggest that lithium-ion fire can reach temperature comparable to explosives like TNT. This is why EV fires can be so destructive. They release an enormous amount of heat and energy in a short period. Toxic fumes. Lithium fires also emit toxic gases, including hydrogen fluoride, which is dangerous when inhaled. Firefighters often struggle to put out EV fires because conventional methods such as water or foam aren't always effective, and there's a higher risk of exposure to toxic chemicals. Environmental risk and firefighting. of firefighting. When EVs catch fire, the water or chemicals used to put them out can pollute local water systems. This runoff may contain heavy metals and other hazardous substances from the batteries themselves, causing further environmental harm. Another issue that often goes unnoticed is the end-of-life disposal of EV batteries. Lithium-ion batteries have a limited lifespan, and when they're no longer usable, they must be disposed of carefully to avoid environmental contamination. Unfortunately, large-scale recycling solutions for lithium batteries are still in development, and the ones who have are costly and inefficient. In some cases, batteries are sent to landfills, where they risk leaking toxic material into the ground. Recycling could help address this, but current recycling methods are energy intensive, adding to the overall environmental footprint of EVs. All of this brings us to the question, are EVs really as eco-friendly as we think? The answer is complex. Electric vehicles undoubtedly reduce emission on a local level and can contribute to cleaner air in urban areas. But when we look at their entire life cycle, from mining and manufacturing to energy consumption and disposal, the environmental cost of EVs is substantial. Moving forward, what's the solution? So if EVs aren't the perfect solution, what should we do? Here are some potential ways forward. Invest in alternative batteries technologies. Research into alternative batteries technologies like solid-state batteries could yield safer, less environmental damaging solutions. Improve recycling infrastructure. Better recycling system for lithium-ion batteries could help reduce their environmental impact by reclaiming valuable metals and material instead of relying on mining. Shift to renewable energy for charging. Expanding renewable energy source will be essential to making EVs genuinely green. Solar, wind, and hydroelectric power must be scaled to reduce the fossil fuel reliance on EV charging. Focus on reducing car dependency. In the long run, EVs alone aren't enough. Urban planning that encourages public transportation, biking, and walking can reduce our reliance on cars altogether. This shift may be the most sustainable choice of all. In conclusion, electric vehicles have a role in our transition to a cleaner future, but they are not the ultimate solution. We need to recognize their limitation and work toward truly sustainable solutions that consider the full life cycle of products. Not just their performance on the road, but embracing a more comprehensive approach. We can make meaningful strides toward protecting our environment without overlooking the hidden costs. Thank you for tuning in today. If this episode gave you something to think about, please share it with others. And if you have thoughts on this topic, I'd love to hear from you. Remember, the best solution comes from honest conversations and challenging conventional wisdom. Until next time, take care, and let's keep thinking critically about the choices we make for our planet.